Hello, hello, hi, folks. Welcome. Happy Sunday in hopes that you squeezed more out of your day than the day squeezed out of you. Welcome. Good to see you. Hopefully, you guys had a good weekend and you rocked it and you're ready for the Thanksgiving week. I can't believe it's Thanksgiving week already. It's almost Christmas. Holy moly. Um, So today, I was listening this morning to my morning devotionals, and some thought came to my mind, you know, and I don't know how you feel about this. Maybe you can drop your thoughts and feedback below. So have you ever thought that you like, oh man, I did it all wrong. Like you go somewhere and you get to the end of the road and you're like, oh man, I went the wrong way. I'm totally off, you know? Or you just like, oh man, I fought the wrong fight, or I did the wrong thing, or I spoke to the wrong person, or you know what I mean? Just some things that came off that you thought it was right at the time, but they turned out to be wrong. Have you ever had that? Have you ever had that? I've had that. I've definitely had a couple of those that stands out in my mind, right? And but today I thought about, there are times in our lives that we deliberately fight something off, right? Let's say, for example, something keeps showing up in our lives and we keep rejecting it. We keep pushing it back. I don't know who needs to hear this, but this message was on my heart to share today. So there's so many times in our lives that we just kind of push back, right? Maybe it's a person in your life. Maybe it's a person that is really interested in you and you just pushing back. I don't know. Maybe it's a job opportunity or a promotion that people are saying, hey, somebody's saying, hey, you really need to go to the next step. You got to get promoted. This is what you got to be doing, and you're like, no, you kind of pushing it back. Or maybe it's an opportunity. Somebody's sharing an opportunity with you, or sharing some way to make some extra cash, or maybe you've been hit up for the same profession industry by multiple people, right? And it's like it keeps coming up. Maybe it keeps coming up that, hey, you should go to church, or maybe you should read the word more, or you should be into the word more. Maybe these things come up and we just kind of resist and push back. Have you ever had that? Have you had something that just keeps coming up and you keep pushing it back? I went into deep thought today, as much time as I had, because I usually spend time with my parents on Sundays. But I had some time to think about it, and I'm like, have I pushed back on some stuff like that have showed up in my life like repeatedly over and over, and I've kind of just pushed back? And I had to really think about it. And well, the one thing, two things that came up. One is I was introduced to Christianity a long before I actually converted, right? I was introduced back in late 80s. And that's one thing that I kept pushing back, right? And then the other thing is network marketing, and just getting out there in front of people and sharing a good word and a message, if you would. Right before I came to this live, I came on this live, I got a message from somebody who's a fan, let's say, who watches my lives. And, a couple of things she said about my lives, I literally got teary eyed. So, I'm grateful for you guys that you appreciate the messages I share. Some of, obviously I have haters as well. But yeah, so I appreciate you guys the same way maybe you appreciate me. So I've pushed back on that stuff. I've kind of told and I've been transparent. I've told myself that nah, I'm not for that. I mean, what do I got to say? Who wants to listen to me, right? I've said this truthfully, and but I get a lot of messages from not when I say a lot, I mean I get a handful of messages that give me so much love, all right, from random people. Some people that are not even my friends, which is really cool. So I've pushed back on a lot of that stuff for years. I'm 50. I'm just getting started, you know. So I thought to myself today, I'm like, have I been fighting the wrong fight? Have I been pushing back on things that I should be accepting with open arms? Have I even noticed what fight I'm fighting? Who I'm fighting for? I had to really think to myself today. Have I been fighting the wrong fight? Have I been pushing back on the stuff that I should be accepting with open arms and implementing them into my life? Have I been doing that because I've been afraid to step into the fight that I'm supposed to actually fight? The answer is yeah, I've done that for a long time. I've done that for a long time. I've battled and fought the wrong fights. But you know what? Fighting those wrong fights have gotten me to this point. Now I recognize where I am. Fighting those wrong fights have got me to a point where I can sit here and share with you that I have been fighting the wrong fights. And maybe through this you may think to yourself, you know what? I've kind of been fighting the wrong fight myself. I've been pushing back on stuff that maybe I shouldn't be. I mean, the good word, the good book talks about it, you know. I now love doing the stuff I used to hate. I can't quote the Bible, okay? But you know what I mean? Sometimes it's the fights we're supposed to be in that we try and try and try so hard to avoid. I'm asking you to reevaluate the fights you have in your life. You know, the things you're pushing back, the things that you're like, no, 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 no. Maybe those are the things you should be paying attention to. I'm asking you to reevaluate those and fight the good fight, fight the right fight. Don't get into the wrong fight, right? So, hey, if you're brave enough to admit, like I admitted tonight, if you've had a fight that you ended up thinking, oh, this was so wrong for me. I should have been here. I shouldn't. If you have an example like that and you're brave enough to share, drop it in the comments below. Let this feed grow. I appreciate you guys. I have some stuff that I've been thinking to implement into my lives and into everything else. So who knows? Who knows? You may get a little surprisey surprise and a little bit of change in the format starting tomorrow. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows with Sean? You know, you'll never know. So hopefully you guys get some love, some inspiration, some value from this live. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart. Those of you who take the time and literally send me a message, a private message, appreciating my lives or a certain live or what have, I cannot thank you enough. I'm humbled. I really, really thank you from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate you. And don't stop. I'm just kidding. Not really. Don't stop. So I appreciate you guys. If you feel like this was worthy of sharing, do what you gotta do. Spread the love. Tag a couple people. You know what's gotta do. And until tomorrow, when we do it all over again. Much love.